My name is Scott for SB Gaming. We are back here in Prison Architect, and a few things have changed. I've tried to let time progress in order to allow one of these death row prisoners to get down to a 0% clemency rate. Although if it doesn't happen during this episode, I might just go ahead with it. Paul, you've been avoiding the death row appeal for long enough. You probably know that I am going to send you to the chair if you fail one more. So you're like, you know what? I like it here. I'm probably not going to collect clemency, so I don't care. I'm not going to go to it. And at 6 p.m. we actually had a pro lawyer and the magistrate or whoever is in attendance, and they were sitting there, and none of my death row prisoners showed up. So yeah, pretty much none of them really wanted an appeal. They are sitting here in death row, and I guess they kind of think if they put it off, they can. Yeah, so yeah, Paul Rogers, you're either getting clemency at the 1% chance, or we are going to flip the switch. Anyway, the unexpected happened. Even though we do indeed have a perimeter wall, we have an escape. It is, I know for a fact, it is the minimum security. And it's been a long time since I've done a cell block search. And I've done, what was it? They discovered something here. So I have kind of torn off the toilets in these couple cell blocks. But I'm expecting it's probably these guys. And yeah, dummy, to do dump dummy. Yep, it's indeed these cells. I have a cell block search in progress, but it shouldn't be very hard to really figure out who it might have been. But yeah, let's just bring it down to speed 2, because that just looks a little bit crazy. We are going to hire another couple guards, and I believe we've apparently had a death today. I think. Deaths in custody. No, 10. But apparently, we have 2 prisoners that escaped. What does this say? 1 dead body. I know that there's a dead guard in here. Anyway, let's throw down some more guards. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And let them help with the cell block searches. And I don't really care if they say they are. Yes, indeed. Oh. You were tunneling. So yeah, you know what? I am going to pretty much just dismantle the entire what's it called? Let's just dismantle everyone's toilets, just because. I don't care if you have never tunneled. The fact that we have had some people tunnel, and in the past in some other prisons I have discovered additional people tunneling, so it's never just the guys who had escaped that were tunneling. There's always potentially more that are tunneling. Alright, so I went through and I got rid of every single toilet. I even remembered to do the not the death row. Although maybe I should. Yeah, let's do the death row prisoners as well. They don't need toilets. No one needs toilets. But yeah, I even remember to do the protective custody. And now, yep. Yeah, I know there's a tunnel there. Oh, look at that. Look at that indeed. You were tunneling. Or was it one of you guys? Oh, it was you. Yes, you were tunneling as well. You were tunneling as well. So yeah, of course. It is. Wow. He was getting in on it. Everyone's a tunneling. Everyone is tunneling. So how many people? We had 2 escapes, which were in here. This one and this one. Looks like they were tunneling as well. This guy was tunneling. This guy was tunneling. And the name of this episode is, of course, Everyone is a Tunneling. How about down here? Anyway, we can definitely leave it at that. And are you, one of you guys going to actually go through for a death row? You're having a shower. At least we know they'll have showers. And we're down to 107 valid cells. Any more tunnels have been discovered? But yeah, that's the first time I've seen a tunnel underneath a perimeter wall. They have probably been doing it for a long time, given that this prison has been running since for 31 days. And oh, I didn't even have a chance to correct my... Oh, bother. Okay, yeah, it was only an extra 2 minimum security. Anyway, that is not what matters. What matters is to, of course, check informants. Strong and fearless. We don't know you. We don't know you. And I will say that in the previous Miller, I think it was him. Experience 11 days in the prison. Nope, it wasn't him. Someone came in as a snitch. Ian Ainsley, yes indeed. 1 day in the prison. Picked him up as a snitch. Served 0.2 years of 11 years. So, we just have one strong and fearless guy. Anyone else tunneling? Anyone else trying to tunnel? So yeah, they decided to go all the way to the edge of the building, up to there. Yeah, they didn't even bother to go up to the, just straight out. They were going along the side of the building. But yeah, I'm going to probably use this as my thumbnail for the episode. Tunnels. Alright, we're down to 31 valid cells, 11 maximum capacity, and 9 protected capacity. So that means all the supermax, they have been dismantled. So I am going to have to go back in. Yeah. I'll be back in one moment. Alright, so I spent a bit of time and put all the toilets back on and gave orders for them to clear these tunnels. So hopefully no one kicks off because they can't deal with their bowel issue. And yeah, I'm going to hire, let's go, another 3 workmen and get on those tunnels. And I'm guessing needs, I don't know. Where is it? Bowel splatters. Yeah, but someone's kicking off. Seriously injured. Snitch? Oh no. Jenya, Kachok. Yeah, you are... Oh boy. You must have been a new prisoner. 4 days in prison. Oh, this is not good. This is not good at all. 4 days in the prison, we find out you're a snitch. No, no. We're gonna need you down here. Where are you taking the prisoner? Okay. Wow. A snitch that didn't die in the... after being discovered. Interesting. Well, we saved your life. Interesting, yep. Alright, we are up to 83 valid cells. 92. And, oh, look at that. It will be time. Yes, indeed. Paul Rogers. Likelihood of clemency. Today is your day. Once we get all of everything else taken care of, we'll come back for you. Yes, indeed. I may do it at night when everyone's asleep so it doesn't ruin anyone's schedule, it doesn't affect anything of the other prisoners. But, yes, indeed, this is the day that the execution happens. And at this point, I may cut here and return when things are back up and running. We have 149 cells available. And if we look here... Yep. Most of them are coming back online. Alright, all these are good. We got a couple cells over here. Alright, so it is time for Paul Rogers to meet his fate. He was brought into this prison, having been convicted of murder for 25 years, sentenced to 14 years for torture, 14 years for aggravated assault, 10 years for torture, another 5 years for another torture, 12 years for grievous bodily harm, 19 years for armed robbery, 15 years for attempted murder, 14 years for aggravated assault, 13 years for aggravated assault, and another 22 years for armed robbery. We could probably create a story about how he got all these convictions, but it is safe to say that he has pled guilty to every single one of them. He's run through his available appeals, and he's down to 0%. So it will begin. Execution has been initiated. Initiate prison-wide lockdown. All prisoners are sent back to their cells, and the prison is locked down. Well, it is sleep time, so every prisoner should be back into their cells. We're going to authorize that. We are also going to authorize the test facility. The final test pass to ensure everything is working. The electrical supply to the chair is tested under load. In addition, the final route of the prisoner is planned out. He must be able to walk to the execution room himself. We will also test the facility. And it is complete. So we will assemble the execution detail. The warden and the chief make their way to the condemned inmate's cell. In addition, a priest or spiritual leader of the prisoner's choice arrives on site and prepares the prisoner in his cell and say final prayers. We will also escort witnesses to facility. Witnesses to the execution arrive on site and make their way to the execution facility. This group can include family members of the condemned inmate and also members of the victim's family. And has a note, execution witnesses should be provided with chairs, but it's not strictly necessary apparently, so we will authorize those. So what we have is, yep, all of the witnesses are arriving, as well as the execution, the Rogers priest. The warden and security chief are coming to his cell. We'll open up his cell. Might as well lock it open, because the priest will be arriving. And so the escort witnesses to facility is complete. Assemble execution detail, that is complete. And now escort prisoner to facility. We will authorize that. They are 81%. And we see those that are in attendance. Paul has taken his seat, and the only thing left to do is to authorize the execution. And it has been done. Dismiss staff and witnesses. The staff and witnesses are dismissed and may leave the facility. And they slowly make their way out. It is currently 4:30 in the morning. And the final report. The mandated execution of Paul Rogers was carried out at 4:06 as scheduled by electric chair in the presence of witnesses. The standard compensation of $10,000 is awarded to the institution for their part in the process. And so ends another chapter in this Prison Architect series. There comes the hearse. And yes, it would be a good idea to do the execution at night when all the prisoners are asleep, when they're locked up. If you do it during the day, all the prisoners get sent back to cells. They might be cranky or otherwise. And there he is. He's been taken out. He came in apparently with a heroin addiction, and he's leaving in a body bag. So, is there anything else for us to do in this prison? That is pretty much the climax of this prison, and I am working on a new design for what should hopefully be the next prison. And guard, did you... 2 dead bodies. Please tell me, did this... There has been a guard sitting in here, so... No. Did they... Okay, yes. They finally brought the dead guard out. Yes, indeed. Anyway, we are going to take one last look at our prison grading. So for this prison, we have a prison value of $930,000. And I did, while I was waiting for Paul's clemency to run out, I did finish off the rest of the perimeter wall. I have $36,000 in the bank. So, you know, if you do have a good income, you can definitely afford the prison or the perimeter wall. Although, of course, oh, or where is it? Oh no, it should have been right here, I believe. They resolved the issue, or no, it was along here. I believe they resolved the issue where you couldn't remove the tunnel on the outside. Anyway, enough of that. In this prison, we have a final prison punishment score of 5. Final reform score of 5, which is pretty decent. I believe it was only a 0. We have security 0 in our last prison. We have a security rating of 1 and a health rating of -2. 119 prisoners have been released and contributed to these scores. We have a 12% reoffending rate. 12% of 119. We had 85 prisoners paroled early, which means that 34 prisoners, I believe, 34 prisoners served their full sentence over, 32 days. Only 2%, only one of them reoffended early, and we had a parole cutoff of 20%, so that worked out in our favor. Of course, 84 prisoners having been paroled early gives us 3,000 plus, 3,000 times that amount, which is a decent value and decent amount. Yeah, so the prison value 930,000, daily profits of 15,237, capacity of 235, deaths in custody unfortunately 10, which does not, of course, include the prisoner executed. I believe that prison guard had been there for a while, and he was a previous death. Anyway, prisoners escaped, unfortunately, too, as we saw in this episode. So that is this episode of my second prison, where we finally did see an execution. We have the prisoner intake, but yes, indeed. Anyway, that is going to be it for me today. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Prison Architect. And coming up soon, I will have my new design. I haven't finalized it, so tomorrow there may not be an episode of Prison Architect, but it all depends on when I get around to actually recording it, finalizing my design. I am planning to build it on a large map as well. I am also planning to probably expand both to the north and the south, as well as probably across the road. My initial design has to be in 2 phases. The first is just getting the prison set up for the land expansion, and then from there to be able to actually expand it and further finalize the design itself. Anyway, that is going to, of course, be it for me today. Thank you for watching this episode of Prison Architect. My name is Scott for SB Gaming, and as always, have a good day.